Hello, Miss Monday. I received your question here. You want to construct a frequency distribution for the given data using 6 classes. So here's the first one, and there's going to be 5 more after you fill it in. And the table indicate the midpoint, relative frequency, cumulative frequency, which classes have the greatest. They'll ask you that. That'll be easy after you make the table. Complete the table starting with the lowest class limit. Use the minimum data values. Okay, round the nearest thousands as needed. So we got let's see, how many pieces of data do we have here? If we count, there's 29 pieces of data. We'll need that a little bit later. We need to first of all pick out the smallest and the largest data values. And so I guess the smallest data value, let's see, it would be this 40, and the largest data value is 503. So you look through here, pick out the smallest and the largest. I need to find their difference. So 503 minus 40, we want 6 classes. Up here it says 6 classes. And so that gives me the denominator. And so let's see, that's 463 divided by 6. That's 77.2. And so I took the largest the value here and minus the small, or number of classes. Largest minus small over number of classes. And then you always round this up. So I'd round that up to 78. Now in this first class, you always start with the smallest data value. So it'll be 40. So that number there will be 40. And if I add 78, that's the lower limit of this first class. If I add 78 to that, that'll give me the lower limit of the next class. And so if I add 78 to that, the lower limit of the next class will be 118, which means the upper limit of this class is 117. So I pick out the lowest number, I add this to it, I get 118, and I take away 1, and so that gives me the lower and the upper class limit here for this first one. And the next one, I continue on this pattern. Okay, the frequency, you want to count how many of these are between 40 and 117. And so if I come up here and circle these two, that one, of course we already found that one. There's another one, there's another one, there's another one. How many is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the frequency will be 7. And the cumulative frequency, of course, it's 7. How many ever's in the next class, you'll add that to 7. Relative frequency, well, that's just 7 divided by 29, which is let's see, what would that be? Let me get my calculator here. 7 divided by 29, that's 0.2413. So you're rounding nearest thousand, so it'd be 0.241. The midpoint, the last thing we need here is the midpoint. The midpoint, you just add these two values and divide by 2. And so 40 plus 117 over 2, that's 78.5. And so the midpoint goes right here. So I've filled in the first one. You just need to fill in the rest of them. I hope this helps.